makes me happy, I'm sad, but what makes me happy is that I was able to have a last minute, in the last minute, but it was almost an hour, a last minute meeting with the President Putin, and I was able to communicate all the things that I wanted to tell him. Maganda naman ang positive naman ang
Sa message po sa mga kababayan natin.
Mga kababayan natin, do not be too scared. I'm going home. I'm cutting my visit here to be with my countrymen, and I will deal with the problem once I arrive. But let me just tell everybody that I have declared martial law for Mindanao. How long? Well, how it would take a year to do it, and we will do it. If it's over within a month, then I'd be happy. Pero ang martial law is martial law, ha? So kayong mga kababayan ko, you have experienced martial law. It would not be any different from what the President Marcos did. I'd be harsh. I was asked one time, I think it was during the campaign doon sa Lasal, I was asked how I would deal with terrorism, and I said I would be harsh. And sinabi ko nga sa lahat, do not force my hand into it. I have to do it to preserve the Republic of the Philippines, the Filipino people.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening. I am reading to you the Armed Forces of the Philippines statement on updates on the Marawi operations. The situation in Marawi has stabilized. Security forces are in full control of the situation. The armed men we are dealing here are not members of the ISIS, but members of local terrorist group. The news being circulated by these terrorists and their sympathizers are spurious and are meant to spread lies and disinformation. It is propaganda to attract foreign terrorist support and recognition. The reported eyewitness account is untrue that Amay Pakpak Hospital has been occupied and the people there were held hostage. The Marawi City Hall was not occupied, as was earlier reported, merely quoting sources. The sporadic firefights heard were harassment actions by terrorist sympathizers that were conducted as diversionary tactic to divide the attention of reinforcing AFP personnel. But even these are already held in check. Information from operating units state that around 2 p.m. today, 23 May 2017, soldiers acting on the information regarding the presence of local terrorists and their cohorts proceeded to Barangay Basak, Malutlut, Marawi City for a law enforcement operation. The security forces were fired upon, constraining them to retaliate. Follow-up operations are ongoing. We cannot reveal other details so as not to compromise operational security. Follow-on forces are underway as we speak to further ensure that we will keep the grip on the situation. Meanwhile, we fervently urge our people to refrain from posting in social media information that would tend to exacerbate the situation, especially of photos and videos on the movements of our troops and on terrorist propaganda circulating through social media. We will continue to provide updates as often as possible with due regard to the security of our operating forces and the conduct of the operations itself. Thank you very much. Good evening.
At 2 p.m. this afternoon, Manila time, joint elements of the Army and the police were trying to serve a warrant of arrest on Isnilon Hapilon at Barangay Basak, Marutlot, in Marawi City when they were met with firefight or firearms, gunfire from the group of Hapilon Isnilon. At the same time, other groups also of the Maoti and ISIS, group of ISIS. ISIS, this Mauti is ISIS inspired. Started also to occupy some establishment in Marawi City. They occupied the Amay Pakpak Hospital. This is a hospital under the DOH, the City Hall, City Jail, and part of the MSU compound. Fight ensued, and our troops reacted properly. But as of tonight in the Philippines, the Mauti group burned several facilities: the St. Mary's Church, City Jail, and the Dansalan College. The Mauti fighters still occupy also the main street of Marawi City. It's called the Quezon Street, and two bridges leading to the city. As of tonight, there were 3 killed government troops, 1 PNP, and 2 Army, and 12 wounded. The whole of Marawi City is blacked out. There is no light, and there are snipers, Mauti snipers all around. So the troops are still on holding, and several troops elements have already joined them from other neighboring units. And tomorrow morning we are bringing in more troops from Zamboanga and Manila. I talked to the commander of the 1st Division, Major General Rolando Bautista, a while ago, just maybe 5 minutes ago, and he gave me this update. Later, I talked to the governor of Lanao del Sur, Governor Adjong, and he also told me the same thing. Now, there are no civilians are roaming around. They are all in their houses, but there were several houses also that were burned surrounding the other facilities that were burned earlier. Now that is all that we can give you at this moment. We are still waiting for other development.
Good afternoon. I have spoken to my counterpart here in Moscow and have explained the situation, and they understand that the security of the Filipino people, especially in Marawi and the whole Mindanao, is a priority. They understand that the presence of President Duterte is essential in the Philippines. But I will be staying behind. The agreements will be signed, and we will have a bilateral meeting with the Honorable Foreign Affairs, the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs, Lavrov. They will announce it, but they are now making arrangements because the President feels that he is needed in Manila as soon as possible. So they will make an announcement, either presidential spokesman or someone else in the cabinet. No? But definitely the agreements will push through, but the President will not be staying until 24th and the 25th. We'll make that announcement later.
We will continue to encourage the community in Marawi and in Mindanao to please take all precaution, cooperate with authorities, and stay calm. We were open now to a few questions.
Sir, just to fine-tune the declaration, what are the areas in Mindanao that is covered? And
It is the entire island of Mindanao.
because of that, what will be the security setup there?
The details will be forthcoming. Any other questions?
Sir, what
about in Manila? Is there a need to declare a state of emergency, considering that there has been declaration before by the PNP chief himself that there's some presence of ISIS in Manila?
What the president has done is just to declare only for the island, entire island of Mindanao, including Basilan and Sulu, and Tawi-Tawi.
Just a clarification, there are reports that it's an ISIS attack and you're saying it's a Maute group with ASG. What group is behind the attack in Marawi?
It is actually Maute Islam ISIS because they're the same.
If it's an ISIS attack, does it mean that it has an international party?
I believe so because we already there have been report that came to me from Baghdad that they are already seeing these pictures in the website of ISIS. No, I think the website of ISIS in the Middle East.
So there's prior information to this attack in that website?
Maybe no, but you can always stream those information immediately, just as we are doing now. Yeah. I also got pictures of those people just today from Marawi.
Secretary Anand, would that mean that the meetings with Medvedev and President Putin are scrapped?
Again, the presence of the president, the physical presence is needed in the Philippines. That is the president's assessment. And his priority is always the protection of each and every Filipino. He will act within the framework of the Constitution. We will follow all rules and regulations. Now, the meetings between President Duterte and President Putin and President Duterte and Prime Minister Medvedev will be postponed. And but we are in the process of arranging that the President Putin and President Duterte will be able to speak. Most probably, it'll be a phone call because President Putin is not in Moscow at this point in time.
Good afternoon, sir. Good evening na pala. Sir, may magkakaroon po ng forced evacuation sa mga civilian communities para mag-give way po sa possible surgical operations.
Wala pa ngayon. Ang sinasabi namin doon ay stay in their homes muna. Huwag silang magkalat-kalat sa paligid ngayong gabi dahil wala nang ilaw at maraming snipers ng mga ISIS na mauti doon na nag-aabang baka mapagkamalan silang sundalo. At also, the soldiers will also might mistake them to be the enemy. So, stay put muna sa mga bahay nila. And then tomorrow when it's light, malalaman natin kung ano pang gagawin natin doon. We may require them to get out of the homes or evacuate them, but we will provide the evacuation facilities like transportation para makaalis sila. Kung magkaroon talaga ng house-to-house fighting dyan sa Marawi.
May we know how the president decided, what was his thought process and what were the events that led to his deciding to declare martial law? Was he briefed? Who briefed him? Was his decision also suggested by defense officials?
He met with his own group, and we will just have to leave it at that. The full details we don't have.
His own group, sorry?
Yes.
His own group?
His group of advisors. Okay, we don't have the details about the composition of the advisors.
Secretary Lorenzana, considering the urgency of the situation in Mindanao, you think there's a necessity to ask for immediate military support or assistance either in China or here in Russia?
None. I think we can do this. We just have to reshuffle our troops
medyo nabigla lang sila doon because they were expecting to arrest Mr. Isniron. They didn't know that he was backed up by more or less about 100 armed fighters. But we will be able to contain them as we go along, maybe tomorrow or the next 2 days.
Yun ho bang Marawi area, matagal na hong pinamumugaran ng mga Mauti group at ito ho ba'y matagal ng
Yes.
nasubaybayan ng
If you remember, we were able to, we bombed them in Butig. Isniron was there in Butig early this year, and they were scattered. And it's coming out now from the reports of the military that they have a lot of sympathizers in Marawi City, so they were able to infiltrate Marawi without the knowledge of the military. That's why they were able to go there undetected, maybe posing as civilians coming to the city until they saw this. If they did not see Isniron siguro, they will not be able to have this incident because Isniron was there. He was seeking medical attention. And when he was approached to be, his hideout or his safe house was approached to arrest him, they started firing at our soldiers. That's why there was this encounter.
Thank you.
We'll have to confine it to the last two questions because I'll be deferring now to Sec. Alan Cayetano.
Pia, just to add to your question, to add to the answer, no? The President does not take lightly the declaration of martial law of any part of the Philippines. In fact, this option was an option in the past. He has announced that there are groups that have been auditioning for recognition in ISIS, and both Secretary Lorenzano